Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Team PI Pokemon channel. Today we're doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be looking at the expanded Blastoise Keldeo deck, which has been winning events right across the world recently in the expanded format. And instead of doing a traditional deck analysis with Connor or Freddy, this is a solo video. I'm going to do a game on Pokemon TCG Online, and then I am going to break it down play by play. So every turn I'm going to analyse the decisions I made, the alternative decisions I could have made, and I'm also going to weigh up after each turn whether I made personally the right choices that turn, and I'm going to see how that pans out. A little bit different, a little bit more in depth, hopefully help the new players a bit more, trying to work out how many different players there are per turn, because I've noticed talking to a lot of new players recently, they understand the rules of the game, but they don't necessarily understand the logistics of doing well at the game. So hopefully that'll help new players out. And the deck itself, you know, it's quite a standard Blastoise Keldeo list. This is on Connor's account. Lugia instead of Mewtwo is a bit different. What else is out there? Rough Seas instead of Tropical Beach. That's purely there because we don't own any Tropical Beach on the account. And I think that's about it. To be honest, it's very standard. So it's not for the list of this video. You can find this kind of list anywhere. It's very similar to one that Jacob Van Wagner did well with at the World Championships back in August. This video is here to try something new out, analyse my plays, see how I did, what I can do better next time, and help my new players. So hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in the game. So welcome back, ladies and gents. As is with this new kind of recording style that I'm going for, I'm just going to commentate over my own turns, and I'm going to slow it down, pause it when it's necessary, and we're going to look at the different plays I've made during my turns. I'm going to kind of break down some of the other plays I could have made, and I'm just going to kind of give you an insight into how I play, how I could have played, and I'll also highlight if I made any misplays. You know, I'll be honest. I won't try and butter over it. If I make any questionable plays, I'll highlight how questionable they were, and I'll just kind of give you an insight into how this deck, or how this game, whichever you look at it, can be played at a slightly more in-depth level. As a player that's been playing for just gone 8 years now, I have had some experience. So I'm just going to try and pass some of that on, and I hope you get something from it. Well, enough of me waffling now. I will see you guys on my first turn. So going into my first turn here, I'm just going to start off by using the Trainer's Mail. I personally feel it's best to use Trainer's Mail before you use anything else in your hand. It just kind of gives you an insight into what exactly you've got to play with before you make your plays. In this particular instance, it didn't matter anyway because I had no target off the Trainer's Mail. So go straight into my battle processor. Here I'm going to get rid of my Archer's Ace in the hole, my Propagate Execute, and for anyone that doesn't know, this is really nice in these kind of decks where you're looking for perfect hand counts, because it lets you pick it up from the discard with Propagate and pull it into your hand at any point in your turn. So it's just so nice in the fact that it can, for these cards where you have to discard X amount of cards from your hand to have an effect. I'm talking about things like Superior Energy Retrieval, Ultra Ball, Computer Search. It's so nice to be able to get those perfect counts. So you can work out during your turn whether you need to get rid of any cards at all. You can use Propagate twice with the 2 eggs in the deck and not actually discard anything. You can use it for 1 egg, get rid of something you want to lose, or for no eggs at all. It just gives you so many options in these Archies or Maxis decks, if you use something like Glade, in getting your hand to the perfect size for that. And obviously you have to get rid of the Blastoise to have a target for Archies when you get there. Now here I go for Unknown's Farewell Letter, and I think in hindsight this was probably my worst aspect to this turn, because I really didn't have to Farewell Letter at this point, especially seeing as I've decked another Shaymin X, which I really wasn't looking for. So I think that was probably my worst decision of this turn. should have just left it on the bench. You can use Farewell Letter at any point, so I could have used it after I'd sorted out my Blastoise. Now I do Shaman setup into 3 cards, and I do actually here get exactly what I need. So I'm going to propagate the egg I've got rid of with Battle Compressor, and a Water Energy just to dig out here my Keldeo. And Keldeo is really important here because it's going to let me rush in, get rid of that unknown, get it out of the active, stop it being a hindrance basically. I'm going to propagate again with my second Ultra Ball. So here, like I say, I'm trying to simultaneously set myself up in terms of Pokemon and what I have out, and I'm trying to make it so I drop my hand to 1 card, but 1 card being a VS Seeker or an Archer's Ace in hold to get that Blastoise out turn 1, which is really, really important in these kind of decks. If you miss that turn 1 Blastoise, it can be really, really bad, because it means that next turn you're looking to Archers that turn, and it's support you've got to use, you've got to dump your hand again, so it's really not ideal if you can't get it off the first turn. So just going to Battle Compressor here, dumping N, Water Energy, and just going to get rid of my second egg here. Now I could have also at this point discarded my other Blastoise, Deluge Blastoise, because at this point it is just a hindrance in the deck, but you cannot play it without Archers, so it being in the deck is just a dead card. So in hindsight, probably should have discarded that instead of something like the N. And I do here go for Jirachi. Didn't draw off Shaman, it's important to point out, because had I have drawn off Shaman, I wouldn't have been able to obviously use my Archers. So sometimes people forget that actually you don't have to use setup on Shaman. You don't have to draw until your 6 cards in your hand. And this is one of the scenarios where it's really ideal that you don't draw until your 6 cards in your hand. Otherwise you can't use the Archers in hold. So straight away, turn 1, Blastoise Deluge is out on the bench. So I have checked that off the to-do list, as you were, for this deck. So here I did draw 3 Water Energy, which is actually really nice, because it does mean I'm going to be able to Deluge 3 onto that Keldeo EX, set it up straight away from the next turn, and I'm going to be in a really strong position. I did hit another Battle Compressor, just going to discard Lysander. Now it's really important in these style decks where you do only run 1 copy of the majority of your supporters, things like N and Lysander. So a Fisherman if you run it. So you can just kind of like dump these from your hands, pick up any time with VS Seeker, and they're less of a hindrance in your deck for things to draw into later on. Now I'm finally getting rid of a Blastoise and the Jirachi, because it's a bench warmer, like these 2 Shaman EX already out, and the other Jirachi that's already been used. And also at this point, there aren't many supporters left in deck to actually fish out, so it's a bit of a null card at this point. And I'm actually going to use another Battle Compressor. I think this is my final Battle Compressor at this point. Discarding a Juniper for later use off of VS Seeker. A Lugia EX because I'm not really sure what he's playing, but with the double Keldeo, I'm feeling as if I'm not going to need it. I also got rid of the Kieran because I do run 2 copies of this, and again it's a dead card if I draw it. And I have got to be careful at this point because, as you can see, my hand doesn't exactly set me up for the next turn. I have no hand, so I do have to be careful, because if I don't draw something off the top deck now that's going to give me a draw, like a Juniper, a VS Seeker, an N, a Comp Search Dig, one of the things I've just listed out, then I'm going to have a very, very sticky turn. So I do kind of go to end my turn here, but then stop at the last minute, because I kind of think, well, I've got this Keldeo EX active with 3 Water Energy off. I've also got this other Keldeo EX in hand, which I was kind of contemplating not putting down. But then I kind of figured, well, I can use Russian, its ability to promote it to be active straight away, and it can act as a wall for this next turn. So it's something that's going to allow me to sit behind a wall in this Keldeo EX without any Water Energy, and just kind of keep the one with my energy attached safe for that turn. So now I'll finally end my turn, and I'll be back for my next turn. Now, going into my second turn, I am really relieved to see that I've top decked a VS Sig here, because as I was explaining last turn, I really needed the draw at this point, because had I have not hit the VS Sig, or something along those lines, I would have a dead hand currently and be in a bit of a tricky spot. So, I'm just going to look at my discard here and check out what I've got. So I did hit the Professor's Letter, so I can dig out 2 water here. Which I'm going to do. I am then going to just slap one of those waters onto the Keldeo, because on that Evolve tool, got 130 HP. I'm looking for a perfect knockout. With 4 water energy onto that bench Keldeo, it will now be a perfect knockout. I'm also going to propagate one of my eggs to use my superior energy retrieval, which requires you discarding 2 cards in your hand. Now, I did at this point consider getting rid of the Ultra Ball instead of a Water Energy, and to be honest, I think it was probably the better play of the 2. I'm not entirely sure why I chose to get rid of the other Water Energy, because the Ultra Ball at this point is pretty redundant. I have a full setup, and I can't really think of anything I would want right now, apart from perhaps a Kiram or an Articuno if one of these Keldeo were to get knocked out. So I do at this point, like I say, dump the egg and the water energy to get back 3 of the water energy from the discard. I then rush in this Keldeo with the energy. The wall has done its job from last turn, so that's good. They only hit 50 damage anyway, so it wasn't going to break the bank, but it is nice to spread that load a bit, especially when this Keldeo now has 4 energy on and will be a perfect knockout on that Evolve tool. Also going to Trainer's Mail. Now here I grab a Rough Seas purely because I want to heal a bit of that damage off of the Keldeo on the bench, but absorbed the hit from Evolve tool last turn. Could have grabbed the Muscle Band, but to be honest, it's not needed. Like I said, this is the perfect knockout, so I will take my prize, and that concludes my turn. Okay, so coming into this turn, I think it's important to note how we that Lugia did not have enough energy to knock me out. I guess had he had something like DC Muscle Band, he would have been able to pull it off, but he didn't. This turn I'm digging really hard because I realise that Lugia has 170 HP. So, and I am aware that I'm currently hitting for 130 damage, so 2 Water Energy, or a Water Energy and Muscle Band to take the knockout on that Lugia with 2 energy, which would be really nice this turn. It would put me 3 prizes up, 2 Keldeo fully loaded, and it would put me in a really nice position. So here, I am just a double propagated, so I can use Computer Search effectively for free. Dig out the Muscle Band. Now I have noticed that I do have at least 1 water left, and superior energy retrieval, so I do have options there. Now I'm going to the SC card N purely because I've also noticed I've only got 7 cards left in deck, and were I to Juniper, I would deck out and he would win next turn. So it is somewhat risky here. I am digging a bit, but it's okay because I do end up hitting that superior energy retrieval. I suppose really here I should propagate twice, but I only propagated once. Got rid of the Ultra Ball like I did the turn before. Like I was saying before, I think really the better play here would have been to propagate twice, keep as many cards in hand as possible for a future round if I am fearing a deco. You can deluge that 1 onto the active Keldeo, and now my Sacred Sword just counted up there, hits the 170, again for another perfect knockout, and 2 prizes off that EX. So at this point, I think we're really wrapping the game up. They were unable to get their Lugia into the active last turn, so they were unable to take the knockout with their Aero Ball. I think that's really big at this point. It just effectively means now we can VSC for this Lysander, drag up that Lugia EX with the DCE, and get another perfect knockout, 170 damage, pick up 2 prizes, and we'll only have 1 prize left, so there's 6 remaining. At this point, the game is basically done, but we'll see what they can do next turn. So coming into this final turn, we already have the win here, so just drop water on, and that's the final knockout step, my last prize. So good game. I hope you've enjoyed this new style of video, kind of like analysing each turn, each play, looking at what I did wrong, what I did right. I do realise this wasn't the most competitive game ever. I did end up 6-0 in with this Keldeo Blastoise deck. If there's an interest in these kind of videos, though, I'll definitely make some more in the future. I'll get the other guys at Team PI involved. I'll get some players to give their input on this style of video, and I hope it's helped you in some way. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a future video.